This man was once 40 stone, but he lost 26 stone.
So from 15 minutes of me leaving my house, I'd already failed the diet. 4 sausage rolls, chicken sarnie, steak bake, maybe a pizza. I'd order like a salad, eat that at a restaurant, but then on my way home I'd bring a takeaway. I used to physically eat as much as what I could in 6 days, with intention of starting the Monday after. I remember walking downstairs, jumping on these scales and just seeing a 4. I just cried. And I just thought there's just no way back from this. I had to get out of bed on my knees and lift up off my knees on the floor. That's how bad it was.
What was that feeling like when people like your mum were saying you're going to be dead soon?
And it sounds daft, well, I was like a drug addict. I got to the stage where I couldn't go past like a Greggs or a KFC without calling in for something.
What are your thoughts on Mounjaro and these type of drugs?
I felt that big. It was easier to make a change than what it was to stay as I was.
What is it, do you think, that it takes for someone to go, okay, I'm going to lose the weight this time? So today we are joined by Jonathan. Now, this man who sits before us was once 40 stone. I know he doesn't look it, but he lost 26 stone, getting him down to 14 stone. I had to get you on the podcast to talk about this. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things in the media right now about weight loss jabs and different things and people losing weight and gastric bands and all that type of stuff. But you've done it naturally.
Yeah.
I just want to take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
What got you to 40 stone to start with?
So I were always big as a kid. And I think, do you know, like how people always go back, like if you see a therapist or they always say it's past traumas and stuff. And I've gone back to being that little lad, and there's no that I can actually think why I started off with like a food disorder. I think that when I was young, I remember like spending a lot of time on my own, you know, because I was like I were an only child, and I used to spend a lot of time at my nan's, and I think she used to feed me, but like it was like comfort as such. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I can think of. Like I didn't have a bad childhood. Spent a lot of time on my own. Because obviously I was an only child, but apart from that, really, there's no specifically what I can put my finger on. And then, but I remember going far back as like, do you know, when I was like 12, 13, I used to walk to secondary school. I used to come downstairs in the morning, get ready, and like I'd swipe 1 or 2 quid off my dad's wallet. And even at 12, 13, I remember like walking home from school and like buying a full pack of biscuits and eating them on my own. So obviously, it was, you know, from a young age, it's obviously been ingrained in me.
Portions of food, what were they like from your nana and stuff?
I'll probably say portions weren't too bad. I think it was just the type of foods to start with. And even when I was like at my biggest, I think it was maybe not the quantity, it was the quality of the food.
So when you were going through school, Jonathan, did you get picked on for being big? No.
I never got picked on because I was always, luckily, I was quite popular at school. I used to hang about with like popular kids. Obviously I get odd comment, but rare. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's probably why I maybe didn't sort it out from being a kid as well, you know, from being that young.
So when you started secondary school, when you say 11, 12-year-old,
yeah,
or 10, 11-year-old, 11, 12
yeah, it's 11, 12, isn't it?
Yeah, 11, 12-year-old. Yeah. How big were you then?
I can't remember 100%. I remember being 18, and I was 27 stone at 18.
Right, okay.
And I got down to 17 because I did about 6 years stint on doors. And I got down to about 17 and a half. But it was like a rapid weight loss, and the problem with it was there was no education to it. So I was like starving myself. And that's probably why I put all the weight back on as well.
Right, I see, because there was nothing you built sustainable.
No, and it was just like I'd wake up in the morning and I wouldn't eat.
So when you kind of grown up and you're going through the schooling phase, and I mean, at 18 you're all being 27 stone, how did that affect your relationship with getting girls and stuff?
Poor. Up until working outdoors, obviously, I'd never had a girlfriend really.
Do you think that was a weight thing or a confidence thing, or
100%.
No confidence because of weight?
Both. Yeah, both.
Right, I see.
And then I think I lost that weight when I was like, I think I was like 19, 20. And then obviously got confidence, and then, like I said, just shot down and then shot straight back up, like rebounded bad.
When you lost weight the first time, what was the motivation behind that?
So the first time I used to work with a lad outdoors who were into like cage fighting and stuff. And he had a couple of fights, and he just said like, come training with me. So I just started doing that. So I started training with him, and I really enjoyed it. And I think naturally it was just like I go to work, come home, and then go training. And I think it just flew off me like the way it's the first time.
Because you see a lot of people who are overweight or carrying a lot of excess timber, if you like. And
Yeah.
I don't really like to use the term fat. I mean, some people will just say it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I also think that there can be, I know you didn't really suffer from the traumas and stuff, but a lot of people do eat out of comfort, out of the loneliness thing, which I know you've been through.
Yeah.
What is it, do you think that it takes for someone to go, fuck it, I'm going to lose the weight this time?
Well, the second time for me was like health issues. Obviously, I got 2 kids. I was married. Well, I still am married. And I think for the second time, I got to a place where it sounds daft, but it were easier to make a change than what it was to stay as I was. Like, I couldn't even get out of bed on a morning.
That bad?
I couldn't get straight. I had to get out of bed on my knees and lift up off my knees on the floor. That's how bad it was.
And what was your partner on that like saying to you at the time?
Do you know what? I always say this, like, the respect I have for my missus now, like, is unreal, because she stuck through me through thick and thin. And she never fat shamed me. And even to this day, she says, like, obviously I prefer you as you are now, but I never didn't love you.
That's
and
amazing.
like, do you know, like, I don't know, do you know when you like, you love somebody and then you think you can't, and then I found like another 1% because it takes some doing that.
Because, bit of a mad question this, but like, how does it affect you in the bedroom?
To be fair, it wasn't too bad. Obviously, it wasn't ideal, like certain stuff, but yeah, in terms of like, I probably sell towards latter end though, like towards the 40 stone mark, the libido dropped a bit, like for the last 18 months, I'd say. Do
you think it was seeing your kids that made you? Like...
So basically, what happened with me is, and it sounds, I kind of accidentally fell on a coach kind of thing, and I think that I'd gone to reach out to him a few times because we were in lockdown. It was like 2021, and he used to do these like videos, and I used to watch them from kitchen. And I remember once I was making my tea, and my missus come in, and she was like, "Why are you watching these videos but you're not doing nothing about it?" And I also remember saying to her, like, I'm gonna message him, and I'd go to message him probably 4 or 5 times, but I just didn't have the bollocks to send the message to him. And then one day, I wrote a message, and obviously my fat fingers, I went to delete it and I sent it by mistake. And what weird is when I got a reply from him, I just felt like somebody took weight a world off my shoulders. And best way I can describe it is that I felt like I needed like a third party to come in who I didn't know. Because obviously, like, my mum had come to mind, like, she were in tears. Do you know, like, she were offering me gastric bands. She said, "I'll pay for it tomorrow. You can go. I'll have it. You can go in surgery next week." And I just refused it because I'm that stubborn.
Why were you that stubborn? If it was a case of life or death?
I think it was because I'd done it before, and I think there was like something inside me, because I've all through life I've been quite resilient, and I think there was something inside me that thought, "Do you know what? Like, you will get out of it somehow."
Did the doctors or anyone ever say you could die here?
I never went to doctors. I never had no health markers before either.
But I mean, 40 stone.
It's embarrassing,
like,
yeah.
End up.
Yeah, it's obviously embarrassing, like, to be that way.
Do you know, when you were 40 stone, Jonathan, what were you eating through the day? Like, what was your deal? Like, getting out of bed on your knee? I've already got a picture of how that must have been.
Yeah.
Were people bringing food?
I used to I used to get like secret eating for me. So, like, even on a morning, like, I had to, like, walk one step at a time, you know, to get downstairs. You know, like, you can't just, like, left, right, because my knees were just short. So it was just, like, one step at a time walking down a flight of stairs, and up as well. So it's technically like double pace, you know, like twice as long. But on my way home from work, I remember every day, like, would be, like, do you know, like how you could get pre-COVID, you could get, like, 4 Mars bars for £1 and, like, 6 bags of Walkers for £1. That'd be like on my way home, that. And then I'd get home and say to Mrs, I'm starving.
And were you genuinely hungry? Or were you just wanting the food? Do you know
Probably
what I mean?
genuinely, because I think, like, it sounds daft, but, like, well, you know, like 6 bags of crisps and 4 Mars bars in terms of volume is not a massive volume, but obviously calories, it's quite high calories, you know what I mean? And obviously been that weight, like, obviously probably over years you stretch your stomach, can't you? Do you know what I mean?
And your dinners, what were they? I know, and see the secret eating.
Yeah, so basically all my eating were like front end, but then obviously when I got home from work, it were like as if I were trying to play normal. Do you get what I mean?
Were you hiding your eating on purpose?
Yeah. So my missus would go in my van and like, it was like, she used to call it a skip on wheels. Like there'd just be like chocolate fucking bars, crisp packets all over the van. And she'd be like, where are these from? And I'd be like, oh, they've been there ages. And they're not, they've been there from that day or day before.
Did she try and kind of...
So she was never like, she never fat shamed me.
But not like Jonathan, maybe you have
Yeah, she obviously like for instance, like when I used to watch like them videos of that coach, like she'd say, why are you watching these videos but you're not doing nothing about it? So it was like a nudge, but not like I never felt what's the word for it? Like I never felt like I never went in Michelle. I felt quite comfortable around my missus, you know what I mean? Whereas like my mum were a bit harder on me, my mum. But I can understand why. Like she'd come and she'd be like, you're gonna be dead soon. And I remember one I got like do you know them like blisters at the back of my leg? I have like antibiotics for them. And she said, like, if you don't sort yourself out, you'll have a leg off.
What was that feeling like when people like your mum were saying you're going to be dead soon? Right, I hope you're all enjoying the episode so far, and if you are, do us a favour and hit that like, press that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you are notified when the next video goes live. And the reason I tell you to do that is because the majority of people who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, you little tinkers, and we work tirelessly to bring these episodes to you every single week. We travel up and down the country, we put a lot of work into this, and we travel overseas and all to bring some banging guests here. So do us a favour and hit subscribe, will you?
Well, I think obviously when you feel attacked, don't you? So you just want to curl up in a ball. And I remember once, like, I think the lowest point is I told her to fuck off and get out of the house. And obviously looking back, like, I know she just wanted the best of me, but obviously at the same time, like, when someone who loves you close to you is trying to help you, it's like you just put that guard up. And that's why I think when I started this journey the second time, having someone come in who I didn't know, who had like a different perspective of me, do you know, that I think that's what changed for me.
Because it must take a lot for a coach. Is it Marcus? No. It must take a lot for a coach that a 40-stone bloke walks in, like, fucking hell, we're going to have a work cut out here.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance he's probably going to rebound because he's that big. How did you even believe in your coach could do it?
So I were on about this the other day, and I think what it is I think, do you know, like in terms of like coaches and what you see in industry, like I think in my opinion they're all kind of like on a blueprint. So they're all sort of like, do you know, like I could probably coach somebody, you know, to get down to like weight wise. What I think it is the difference between a good coach and a bad coach is it's making the person believe that they can do it. And I don't know what it was, because on paper, me and this guy didn't mix. And I don't know what it was, but he made me believe I could do it.
Because I've seen, and we'll put the photographs on screen now, I've seen how, I mean, you look fucking shredded, like as if you're a proper lifter in the gym.
Yeah, well, I got lean. I wasn't shredded, but I was lean.
You fucking looked at those. But what I mean is, like, you would never look at you and go, this was a fat guy.
Yeah.
You just look like a guy who trains.
I think it's because I've lost it over a longer period of time.
But did you know when you were trying to lose weight, I know this sounds mad.
Yeah.
Did you picture yourself being muscular and stuff? Or were you just like, I just don't want to be fat?
I just turned up every day.
But you never had a vision of where you wanted to go?
I never set, no, I think it's, and I'm a big advocate of like, sort of like set small goals. Because if I'd have started off at 40 stone and said, I want to get down to 14 and do a photo shoot, I'd have told you to fuck off.
So was the goal to just lose a stone or something?
Yeah, it would just like get to next stone bracket. I think my first goal was to lose 10. And I remember getting on scales and I was like 29, 13. And
but you're still big at that stage.
Oh yeah, I was still big, but it was like a massive milestone though to get in. It's like, you know, it sounds crazy, but it's like you're gloating that you're 29 stone.
Yeah.
But it was like a massive thing for me to get in to be 29, and even though it's only £2 from being in 30s, it was just like a massive milestone.
But it is a milestone.
But that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm a big thing on like set small achievable goals, and that'll just drive you forward.
Yeah, I agree.
And it wasn't until probably the last 6 months I'd said, right, I'm going to do a photo shoot.
Was there any part of you through your journey, Jonathan, that where you were like, fuck this is a lot of graft, like
Every day.
Well,
I think,
like, did you ever think about fucking the whole thing off?
I think what's helped me is like, you know, sort of like holidays in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as, I mean, you see a lot of shit in industry and it's like, there's too much information. And it's like people want to be perfect and stuff. Whereas like when I go away, I don't like take piss, but I just have that break. And I think because we like to go away, do you know what I mean? Like I don't drink, I don't smoke and stuff. So for me, like I've like come down and then sort of like plateaued and then dropped and dropped and dropped. So I think that's helped me in my own journey. But I think now it's just been like, I feel like it's just part of my routine and it's just like I feel like I just brushing my teeth. Like I set my alarm at 3:30 every day. I don't struggle to get up now. People said to me, how the hell do you do it? And I'm just like, I just get up. I went to bed last night at 11:30, I was up at 3:30.
People normally go through some kind of pain before they make change.
Yeah.
How low were you before you made the change? Like, was it like tears all the time? Was it?
So I was so naive, I didn't even know what I weighed. If I were to guess, I'd probably say early 30s. And I remember like getting all this paperwork through and reading it and thinking it just goes against what I've been taught or what you see online and stuff. And I think I had a set of scales I had from previous, and they went up to like 32 stone 9, I think. And I remember jumping on them, and I looked down and it said OL. And I thought, yeah, like the batteries weren't changing or something. So I had Googled it, and it will have a limit.
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, fuck me. So I had to go on Amazon Prime, got some scales, I think same day or day after, like cargo ones, went up to like 45, 50 stone or something. And then they put batteries in. I thought, right, I'll get weight morning after because I was lightest. And I remember walking downstairs, jumping on these scales and just seeing a 4. And I was like, not a chance, like. And I just literally just stood on these scales for what probably felt maybe half an hour, maybe 5 minutes, I don't know, but I just cried. And I just thought, there's just no way back from this. Because
obviously you were a popular lad.
Yeah.
Obviously you're a good-looking bloke. And you can see you now and what your potential was. I know that sounds mad.
No, I know what you mean.
But at that stage when you're 40 Clem and I mean, at that point, you can't even fit into society, like, because you'd be looking at your friends who are wearing certain things. You can't even wear the type of clothes that you might want. Did that all affect you as well, or was it a case of?
Yeah, clothes-wise did. So there were like there's a shop in Barnsley where I'm from called Big Man Shop. So it was just a case of like put another stone on, put another 2 stone on, and you just go back for same item but next size up. So it was just literally what would fit you, and obviously everything's like elasticated. But I think the thing is, with, like you said, with society nowadays is that, like, do you know, like maybe 20 years ago, if you walked down the street and you saw a 40 stone guy, everybody would look at you like you were from circus. But the thing is nowadays is you see a 40 stone bloke walking down the street now, and you might get odd old school people look at them. But generally, younger generation, they just walk past them like they're just a normal society. But that's just because it's norm. Because I think you're seeing more and more people heavier.
Yeah, that's right. And I suppose,
you know what I mean?
Because of social media, opportunities are limitless. So you can be massive, and that doesn't define your income because you can work from your phone. Yeah, you don't even need to be as active.
Even like people now promoting being bigger. It's like big is beautiful and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think there's a certain limit to that. But at the same time, like, I can honestly, hand on heart, I say, like, I've been both. And if somebody says to me, like, I'd rather be fat than fit, like, than a normal size, I'll just call you out and say you're full of shit. But that's only my opinion, do you know what I mean?
How limiting was being 40 stone?
It limits you, yeah. Like
were you going to the shops? Were you going for meals and that out?
Yeah, we went out for meals, but like, it's crazy. It's crazy because your brain thinks differently. So like, I go out for a meal with missus and kids, and like, I'd get into this restaurant, and if I looked at a menu, well, naturally, I'd say if I want a pizza. But what I'd do is, because your brains, you can't enjoy it because you're just looking around, seeing who's looking at you, thinking everybody's watching you.
Was this when you're big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd order like a salad,
Mm-hmm.
eat that at a restaurant, but then on my way home I'd bring a takeaway for a pizza.
Right, I see.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
you're always
so I could have got the pizza anyway.
But you weren't one of those bigger people who were just gluttonous in the face of anyone else. You were kind of just doing it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
So like
worse, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's for me, like a bit like a secret, but then it plays mind tricks on you. So like, if we go into a restaurant, first thing I'd look at is, and it's crazy when I think back, but that's just how it was. Like, I look at, so do you know when you go to a restaurant and they've got like, do you know when they've got the chairs with the sides on? Like, I used to look for them. So, and I used to see if they've got sides on chairs because I thought I can't fit in one of them. So I'd look for chairs like these with no sides on.
What about flights when you went on holiday?
Oh, I had to get a belt extender, but I just, obviously, like, I used to...
Did you fit in the seat?
I fit in a seat, but because I've got two kids, it'd be like me at end, then one at kids. So I was like a seat and a half, me.
Yeah.
And like, I used to like pull belt under my top, like it'd fit, and try and like pillow, woman. And she'd come past and she'd look at me, and then like, and to be fair to them, like a lot of them, like they'd come back and just slime it belt extender, because they knew, like, it were embarrassing. I used to get like, like now when I go away, like I enjoy the process of getting on the flight and having a laugh with lads. But before it were like, get on a flight, I'd sit down, I'd be looking around who's watching me, like, because they're going to think he's waiting for belt extender coming out. Do you know what I mean?
What's really hard to, and so me understanding, mate, and I know this, obviously I've got you on the show, like I've lost a bit of weight, right? So I a lot of the things you're saying, I do relate to.
And it's nuts to some people. When I said this stuff, I can imagine people saying, fucking hell, it's weird that, and I get it.
No,
but it happens, and it's because I like to tell people how I feel, because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that feel the same.
But what's crazy about this is the fact that when you're doing them things and looking at how awkward it is, and you're looking for seats with the sides up and fucking driving or this, and it's all limiting stuff, but then you'd go and smash 5 miles.
I know.
It's almost like, why did you keep doing it?
I think I got too late. There were no handbrake.
Right, so you just thought there's no going back.
Yeah.
That's me. That's the way I am, type of thing.
That's how I felt. Whereas now, like I said to you before, like, from where I am now, I've got like an handbrake of maybe like another max half a stone. And
you know what's crazy though? Now you can go to the restaurant and have the biggest pizza there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, because you know what you're doing outside of that. If anything, you're doing the work in secret.
Yeah. What makes me laugh is like I went to Toby Carberry last week, and like somebody else said to you, like, shouldn't be having that. I was thinking, oh, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It just makes me laugh.
What are your views on people who are 40 stone?
So obviously, because I've been both sides of the pond, so my views on someone who's 40 stone is that they have an issue with food. And somebody's called me out before and said, like, you don't have a food addiction, it's just, you just eat and that's it. And I'm like, I'm just like, mate, if you're 40 stone, like, you've got a problem with food. Like,
do you think you would have fat shamed?
Would I have what?
If your missus was 40 stone and you weren't, do you think you would have fat shamed a bit? Or not so much fat shamed?
I don't think I'd have fat shamed her, but I think I'd done, if I'm being totally honest with you, and I told her this, like, I don't think I could have, I'm not sure if I could have gone through, say, I don't think, like, do you know how she stuck by me through thick and thin, and just how I was as a person? I don't know if I could, it's hard because I've not been in that position, but when I look back at how I was and what I used to do and my behaviours and my mannerisms and stuff, I just think, like, Jesus, like, she's some woman to put through that.
Because from a lad to a lad point of view, like, it's not attractive, is it? Like, if you saw a 40 stone woman, you probably didn't want to jump in a bed.
No.
Like, and that's what I mean. So for her to have stuck, I mean, but I think that's loving it, I guess.
Oh, mate, I've honestly, like, I say it to her, like, regular, like, I do, like, think, like, like I say, I've just found like another 1% for her.
Do you feel like a different person? Like, have your thoughts changed? I know you are, but have you, the way you are in life, are you?
So no, I think people say to me like, are you happy as you are? And I'm like, no. I don't know. I just think like, I kind of wake up every morning and I think our best I can describe it is there's no end goal. And I think that I treat every day like it's a day that I could go back to where I was, which I don't think is a bad thing because I think at the same time it keeps me grounded. So like if what I'll do is like I'll close my window. So say if I'm like not due a binge, but you know what I mean? Because it still happens. I think like the thing is for me is like I've been more 40 stone years than what I have now. So my behaviours are still there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To my new behaviours. So like, but I'll limit that window, and then the day after I'm back on normal routine.
Because what I know is from my experience, I know that. I mean, I said this off earlier, but I feel like keeping my weight down or staying in a certain condition, is a battle every day. I guess it is to anybody who's you know, they're in the gym or they're doing it.
Yeah.
But for you, do you still feel like you've got that 40 stone appetite? Do you still?
I have got it.
You have.
Like if I go to Toby Carvery, like.
Yeah, but surely at your size, you couldn't put that food away now, could you?
Yeah. But I think that's because I've not had a gastric Mounjaro.
Yeah, true.
So technically speaking, your stomach's, I suppose, in theory, like if I go there like I'm king size, my mum says, I don't know how you can put that food away.
But you've got the appetite, but are you walking away? I know you got it discipline, but are you walking away hungry?
No.
So you're still full?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm not though. Like, do you know, like if I go there, I am, yeah. But like sometimes, like if I go to a restaurant, I'll still have my old habits. Like I have to have a starter, I have to have a dessert.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I think so should anyone.
But what I'll do is but I eat clean 6 days. Do you know, to be able to do that? So I know what I'm doing now. I'm educated now. That's the.
But that's what I mean. You're just lucky. You can tell you know what you're doing. You're eating clean. Do you know what I mean? Enough. But I think, and the reason I want to get you on, mate, is because when I spoke to you initially, there's so many people who believe that they're at that point where they can't go back.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who are bigger and they're like, oh mate, I'm really struggling to lose 10 stone, or I'm not 10 stone, 10 pounds, or I just want to fit into this pair. And I get so frustrated because I'm like, just fucking stop eating this shit.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But I also understand I was fat as fuck.
Yeah.
So when I was,
it's not.
Like,
I always say it's the hardest thing in the world.
This is the thing. It's such a weird. It's like a dichotomy because it's like if you're that person, there's a reason you're that weight.
I think, in my opinion, from where I've been, from my journey, because I just speak from my experiences, I think I always say if you can get past that first 2 weeks, once you start seeing the benefits from it, that's when you can change.
If you were 40 stone again today, could you be fine with it? Like, as in getting back to where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't doubt that shit. I might end up.
Well, I've done it once, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I think I do stuff different. And obviously, like I will tell. So somebody who like might message me or I'll try and give them the fastest way to do shortcuts. Do you know we are making mistakes I've made?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I think that for like quite a long time, like even like I was just embarrassed about what, and I think the thing is now is I'm at that stage where I'm just not bothered. So like if I get like 20 good comments and one negative comment, it just don't bother me now. And I've had it a couple of times, but not for a long time. And somebody might say, "Oh, like I don't know, fat bastard," or 4 years ago I'd have been devastated. But generally now, like I laugh, I just think, yeah, it's true. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think you've got to make light of the situation. Because not that anybody should be insulted for their weight, the way they look, whatever. But at the same time, it's going to happen, isn't it? Like if you're walking around 40 stone, you're going to get
the problem is though as well is like a lot of people make excuses as well. Like, and I made excuses for years. It's like I think that, or even people who are overweight, like somebody will come to me and they'll say, like I've worked with a couple of kids who are like 30 odd stone, and they'll say like, I'm 30 odd stone, I can't lose weight, like there's thyroid issues or whatever. And I'm quite blunt with him. I'll just say, if I drop you on a desert island for a month and pick you back up a month later, mate, though no food there, I guarantee you'll be 20, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, when you sort of give him that scenario, it's like as if that's how I wish I'd have been taught, you know, just straight to the point. Because I think it's just brutal, but it's honest, but it's to the point.
How much you, because I'm quite well versed in this, and I understand how everything works with this, but for someone who doesn't know or is listening and watching this, Jonathan, how much of your losing weight would you attribute to cardio versus calorie restriction? I understand you've got to be in a calorie deficit. But were you doing a lot of walking and stuff like that? Because I'm assuming you weren't running at 40.
Yeah. So the first week, I literally got to end of street. That was me done. Because my back were just in bits. So I started off, because the gyms were shut as well. So for the first 3-4 months, gyms were shut. So I used to get up in the morning, I literally walk to end of street and just do little laps. And then I think what were a massive game changer for me is, like I said before, like I'd read these notes and it was just like a flexible approach. And it was just like, so I was thinking, like the first week I was having McDonald's, but like wraps. And I didn't jump on scales either. And I was sticking to my calories. And
what were your calories?
So I remember, so I did them myself. So I started off on 3.3.
That's kind of low for a 40 stone bloke.
Yeah,
like.
but it was still quite a bit of food though. But like I remember, I think the first week I was eating like McDonald's wraps, and I remember the Friday, from starting on the Monday at 40, I got weighed on the Friday, and this coach said to me, if you don't lose weight, I'll give you money back. So I was just thinking, I'll just do this and then I'll get my money back off him. I come downstairs on Friday morning, jumped on them scales. I'd lost £19 in a week.
Hell.
And that flicked the switch for me. And that's when I knew I'd got potential to do it. Because I could still eat foods I enjoyed, but just manipulated it. So like, I used to eat these chocolate bars. I've had chocolate every day for the last 4.5 years. But if I said to somebody who's uneducated that, they don't believe me.
I'm the same.
But that's my, so like this photo shoot I did, he kept my grenade bar in, kept my protein bar in as long as he could. And then he took it out, he went, I know you're going to kick off here, but it was only for the last few weeks, but I managed it. But he knew that, well, for me, that's my safety net. So he kept it in as long as he could.
It's fucking crazy, innit? Because every single night, and I've done it, I lost weight when I was 26, I'm 35 now, every single night, cup of tea, and it's not a fucking bag like, but it's a few Kit Kat.
Yeah.
It's either chocolate buttons, 12 bites, you know, the bags. And what I'll do is I'll try and say, right, I've got that bag, that's got to last me 3 nights.
So you're a better one than me.
So I'll do that and I'll go and write sound, but but that just sorts us out. Whereas I know coaches who I know, and they're like, mate, just chop it all out, you don't need that shit. But for me, I can't stick to something unless I'm eating naughty.
Well, you're a better man than me, because if you can open a bag and take a portion out of that, if I open a bag, mate, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, so that's why I stick to like a 2-finger Kit Kat, because I always say it's just one wrapper. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're individually wrapped up there. It's like my mate can open a bar of Galaxy, take a strip of 3 out and put it back in the fridge.
I can do that, like.
The only thing I can do that with is 85% dark chocolate. It's just fucking brutal. But apart from that, like I don't think I could do it. Even now, I don't think I could do it.
Do you know? I want to get back into the 40 stone cracks. I'm blown away by the diet. I understand the secret eating, at the restaurants you'd eat the salads and stuff, but what would, like, if you weren't being secretive and you just ate, then you put it on a table, what would your meals look like? Like, so were you having like 2 Domino's pizzas?
So it were all like fast food stuff. So like, what were happening was I got in this cycle where I'd probably say the last 12 months, I knew I needed to lose weight and I wanted to do it, but it would just, I think probably accountability or not having someone there. And what I'd do is I'd all intention starting to lose weight Monday morning. And I'd be like, right, that's it. I get up Monday morning, fresh start, that's it, done, work clothes on, no crisps, no chocolate, no bread, all that shit, all that good stuff. I'd leave my house at 7:30, and then at 7:45, I'd be in McDonald's drive-through. So from 15 minutes of me leaving my house, I'd already failed the diet.
And what you're having at McDonald's?
On the morning, so I'd have like probably 2 double sausage and egg muffin meals.
2 meals?
2 of them.
Fucking hell.
And then extra hash browns, so I'd have 4 hash browns, 2 double sausage, and that was just on the way to work. But already I'd like, but then what I did then was I used to think, fuck it. And then I used to physically, and this is nuts, this.
It's mental, that.
I used to physically eat as much as what I could in 6 days with intention of starting the Monday after.
Yeah,
and
it's almost like getting it out your system.
Yeah,
but
then the Monday had come and it was same again. I might have lasted, I think maybe a while Wednesday, Thursday max.
So then what would your lunch be like? So you've had the meals on the
I got to a stage, and it sounds daft, it was like a drug addict. I got to the stage where I couldn't go past like a Greg's or a KFC, we are calling him for something. That's how bad it was. Like it was an addiction. Weird.
So what we
I don't know. Yeah, but go on.
I want to know you. I still want to know you. So
like a day.
day. So
well, I didn't prep any meals for work. So like I'll probably say a day for me would be maybe McDonald's on the way to work. Not every day, but Greg's dinner.
What would that be from Greg's?
4 sausage rolls.
Right. Okay.
Chicken sarnie, steak bake, maybe a pizza.
That's like 3,500
That's what I mean.
calories.
I worked it hard. My maintenance at 40 stones about 10k a day.
That's why I was when you said you were on 3,300 when you started. I was like, that's a massive drop. No wonder you're going.
But it's just dense food though.
Yeah, I know.
So in terms of what I were eating at 3,300, the actual volume of the food were probably about the same. It's just that the food were dense what I were having.
Well, I tell people that now. I'm like, mate, because I'm cutting at the minute, and my calories are 3,200.
Fucking hell, and less than you.
It's fucking mad, mate. Yeah. And I remember when I was 18 stone, I was probably eating, because I tried to do the whole track my calories for a couple of weeks and see how I was probably only eating about 3,500 then, and I was massive. But I was doing fuck all exercise. Exactly. I was doing now with it now, and I was eating all the same, just sausage sarnies and bollocks. So now I'm cutting, and I've only just started the cut, and I look at it and I'm like, and they're like, mate, that's a lot of food. That I'm like, I tell you what, mate, if I give you 3,200 calories of chicken, rice, and broccoli, you could have fucking portions all day.
So
you can't fill yourself. Like, you're gonna be full. You're actually force feeding.
See, I think I have this conversation with one of the lads at gym. I think I could easily do that. Easy.
I don't know, mate. I think it's a lot of food. Like,
do you know these 10k challenges that people doing these 10k? I could do that for breakfast, mate. I'm genuinely.
I could, like. I reckon there's one for you. Maybe do a fucking food challenge.
I've never done one, like, because I'll just be like,
So then after work,
yeah,
what you having?
So basically,
are you snacking after dinner as well and shit?
Yeah, I would just call into shops and just buying shit like all the time. It probably got to a stage where I genuinely don't even know what I was actually eating, because I would just like tunnel vision, just whatever I could get.
Was it like autopilot?
Yeah.
Were you not even thinking about the food? It? Were you not?
Not even. Do you know, like now, first thing I do is like, I might say, like, if I fancy something, say if I see, like, I don't know, a brownie at 800 calories and then a cookie at 300, naturally I'll probably go for a cookie now.
Yeah.
So I can still have something, but not, do you know what I mean? Whereas before, it would just, whatever I wanted, I'd just pick off. Like, there were no concept at all. Not even a thought in my mind about, no, it was just like, it was like a drug addict.
And how much did your lass know you were eating? Like,
not as much.
I know you were.
Yeah, she obviously knew I was secret eating.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
she knew. She's not daft, but because I used to say to her, like, I'm starting a diet this week, and then she'd be like, you're not sort of like losing weight or out, and I'd be like, yeah, but it's something like maybe I need to drop my, do you know what I mean? Like, or just eat less. Like, she obviously knew. But the problem is like, you can't pillar, can you? Do you know what I mean? Sure. Like, I used to.
True.
When it's like when you try and cover up, at some point you'll get found out.
Were you, when you were in that scenario of kind of, because you're bullshitting yourself?
Yeah.
You're doing that. That's all you're doing. You like yourself. Did you feel like? Because I know you ended up doing it in the end, but did you feel like you weren't really gonna do it? Like, I'll start on Monday. I probably won't though, because once you start building them habits of fucking it off on the Monday morning, like going to Matty D's 15 minutes in,
that's like an habit.
So that's what I mean. Were you thinking, I probably never will fucking lose weight?
Do you know what? This time it was just different. I don't know what it was. I think it was just this guy who I found, and it were only like a 30-day program.
Was it?
Yeah, and it was just, I don't know what it was. It was just, I've just felt different. Like, I remember going I did a food shop the day before, and I saw someone who I knew who works there. And I remember, like, I was literally fucking hobbling around with a basket of stuff. I looked like a 8 tramp. And I remember seeing her and I got all this basket of stuff and I went, tomorrow I'm starting, and she remembered me from years ago and she says, well, you've done it before, you'll do it again. And then, like I said, that Friday when I got weighed that Friday, that were a turning point for me that I thought, this is doable.
So when was your first compliment? Because those little compliments and checkpoints keep you going, don't they?
So what I did so there were a few bits what had happened in between, and I remember, and it's not like I don't mean it as like a jibe, but I remember once my dad coming to mine and I'd seen one of his mates in wholesalers, and I remember my dad coming to mine and him saying like, so and so seen you, and commented how big you are. And like, he didn't mean it. I don't think he meant it from like I think it might have even been like to maybe try and get you motivated to change, but I felt that big. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like fucking that big. And I remember like I had this thing like where I said I wanted to go incognito. So how your brain works, going back to that, when I messaged that coach back, he put you in this WhatsApp group and you had to like put your like calories and macros and stuff, and I was that obsessed by it. I tried to get out of it because I thought that people had like
work it out
what I weighed. That's how my brain worked. So I said to him, do I have to be, and I thought he'd come back and say, yeah, you need to be in it. And then the bastard turned around and said, no, I'll do you separate. So I remember that, and then I remember saying to him like, I want to go incognito. I didn't tell anyone, and I always tell people now when they come to me and they'll say, have you got any tips to start with? I'm like, yeah, don't tell anyone you're doing it. That's one of my biggest tips. Because the problem is when people tell somebody they're doing it, people will be happy for them to a certain stage, and then once they start doing really, really well, and they start overtaking them, that's when a bit of jealousy comes in as well.
If you don't know by now, I run a business called The Content PT. I create content for influencers, PTs, online coaches and fitness brands all around the world. So if you are someone who's in need for sexy content for your social media, or you really want to maintain a competitive edge in your industry, drop me a DM on Instagram. So get this, I'll share some with you, right? So 18.5 stone, I was fat and all that. I remember the turning point for me was I was putting my shoelaces on and my fat was getting in the way.
Yeah.
And I used to walk up to college on this bank, and I used to get out of like flustered, out of breath. I was like, "This is fucking not right." I was only young, 18, but I didn't start until I was 26. Start losing weight, so I went through years of just more of that shit and getting bigger and bigger. But I remember when those type of things were occurring, I was like, "There's got to be something I can do without having to." When you said that, it's just so interesting because I didn't want to hold myself accountable. I was almost blagging me, like, if I tell anyone though and then I fail, it's going to be even fucking worse. And that, a bit like that, the incognito thing, 'cause I never really thought it, because it's a strategy really, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think what it is like, do you know, like it's like, well, you know, like when you've worked in that environment and like somebody will come in, it's like, oh, I've started keto. I've lost 2 stone. There's lads at gym all the time, they're coming in, oh, I've lost a stone on that keto in a month. And then the month after, they put it all back on and more. Because it's not sustainable. But what they'll do is they'll tell someone, and then obviously I'll go to them and say, how are you doing with diet? And then it's like, heads down. Oh, I've put some back on. It's like, it's kind of that, it's like that momentum of like, when it's, do you know, like when it's like, when you are losing weight, like you're happy to tell someone, but then when you put weight back on, it's like head down, sink in. So I always said to someone, don't tell anybody because you're not pressured. So if you get weighed week after and you might be a pound heavier or you're the same weight, you're not having people coming to you every week saying, oh, how you done this week?
I know, but, well, exactly. It's not linear anyway. There's going to be weeks where you got to go up and then, as long as the trajectory is fucking...
Well, mine's been the same. Mine's been down, up,
up.
But it's been constantly down.
But it's interesting what you say about that if you start doing... Because the point I was going to make was, I remember when I did lose the weight, mate, I had fucking looking well. And I was like, all right, Sam, so that kept us going. But then I remember I got to the point where we're like, you're looking gaunt.
Yeah.
People start saying that. I was like, fucking gaunt. I've been fucking fat all my life. And now you're calling it... Do you know? And I was like, fucking hell, like, is it because, like, and at this point, mate, like, I had abs. I was getting like, it was fucking mad. I was like, jeez, but I was buzzing.
It's nuts, isn't it? Yeah.
But I'm like, fucking hell, there's a sweet spot. It's almost like, if you do, you're right, mate, if you don't tell someone. But then again, I know I'm contradicting myself, but I do think it's also good to keep yourself accountable.
I think it's I think it's to a point. I think it's just the fact that when you're first starting, because I think the first 2 or 3 weeks are the hardest. So I'm not like saying don't tell anybody or to start with, but I literally lost. I think my first compliment, I bet I lost. You couldn't even really, because I was that big. I think I'd lost about 5 stone. But also, I was going out like layered up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'd have like an hoodie on and a t-shirt underneath. I didn't want people to know that I'd lost weight. And then obviously when people started commenting, but even for me to stick to my plan, I think it was probably about 5 stone because you couldn't tell that I'd lost that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 5 stone's a fucking lump in it.
It is,
you know what I mean?
like I.
But even going back to what you're saying about like you putting your shoes on, like my missus had to put my socks on for me in the morning. Couldn't get my socks on. And then I was like wearing Crocs for work because just slip on.
Did you feel sorry for her, your missus?
No.
Like, did you not?
No.
No. Were you not like, bless you, having to look after me because of my eating habits?
Not at the time.
No.
Now I did. Now I do. So if someone said to me, "Nah, do you feel sorry for her back then?" I'd be like, "Yeah." But at the time, living it, no.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're in your own, like...
It's like you're in your own zone, yeah. But then obviously on the flip side, I've been on other side of it where you lean, and that's fucking bad as well.
Aye.
Like, that's an all new chapter, that.
Yeah, when you're that lean as well, your body
Yeah.
starts to shut down and you start like...
Mate.
It's fucking another level, isn't it? But it's the fact that it's like you've been to the pure extremes, haven't
Yeah, I mean, literally, so someone says to me, like, someone else, basically, easiest answer I can give to me is somebody else said to me, "How the fuck do you get up every day at 3:30 and go to the gym?" And all I said to him is if you've walked in my shoes, you get up at 3:30, Sam. And that's the best way I can describe it.
How old were your kids, Jonathan, when you were 40 stone?
So there was, I think Hugo was 5 and Eston was 4.
Were you a present dad, or
No.
were you just...
My mum says I'm like a bit
hard on yourself?
yeah, but I also say I were a shit dad.
Were you just not active?
No, like I'd be like put a film on, good time, falling asleep all the time. I get home from work, I was like on settee asleep all the time. Like put a film on, didn't interact with him, couldn't run around with him.
How much better do you feel now?
I'm a different person. Like I feel like I've been given a second shot at life, and I just feel like I've like just grabbed bull by its horns and just took it.
Is there
In all aspects as well.
Is there anything you miss about that life?
What, like being 40 stone?
Aye. I know it sounds a mad question, but do you ever just think, I want to finish the full box of fucking cereal here, fuck it, I'm having it? Like, do you...
Probably that, yeah, because I still have a food addiction now.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever go away. And I think that's where honesty comes in. I think I'll take it to grave me. Like my food problem. But at the same time, I also think I'll take it to grave, like I'll never go back to where I did.
So when you drive past the KFC,
Yeah.
are you just... is it still haunting you?
No, there's certain stuff that bothers me. Like KFCs and I genuinely, I took lads out the other day, and obviously like it's catch-22 because like I ate McDonald's for years, but I don't not give my kids one, but I'll just maybe give them one as a treat every maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So like I went in McDonald's, I took them in McDonald's the other week, and I just literally got a black coffee, got them something, and I could sit down and it didn't bother me.
Do you fear that?
There's certain stuff.
Do you fear your kids could pick up the habits that you...
One.
Yeah.
Just one's very mannerisms are like my 2 kids are totally separate, like different.
Yeah.
Like putting a pig tomato in a different box. My eldest is not greedy. My youngest has got tendencies like I had from being young.
Right, I see. And are you a giver? Like, you know what your nana was, just feed, just...
A little bit. But obviously at the same time I'm more conscious about it. So I like to give them stuff, but like not all the time. If you know, do you know what I mean? Like I think it's because I like the feeling of giving them stuff that I never had, and being able to treat them and stuff. But then at the same time, it can also work against you for doing it.
How are you around people who eat a lot?
As in what?
So let's say we're all in the buffet next.
Yeah.
Are you just sticking to your plate, or are you tempted because everyone around you's eating loads?
It depends, because it's like, I think if I knew, I'm quite regimented, and my missus will say the same. Like if I knew I were going to a buffet, I think if I knew I were going to a buffet, what I'd do is I'd drop calories for a week. It's all like a numbers game for me.
Yeah, of course.
But if I didn't know I were going to a buffet, I'd be like Oliver. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You do not have
There's
to.
2 scenarios. If, like, my missus still said to me, like, we couldn't just go out midweek. If she says to me midweek, like...
You've got a plan, haven't you?
Yeah.
From Sunday or something.
Yeah. But I'd deny it to her. I said, no, it'd be daft. But she's right, because she's lived with me. She knows me better than myself.
Yeah.
Like, she knows, and she knows what I'm like.
What are your thoughts on Mounjaro and these type of drugs?
So, my initial, and this is only my opinion, so my initial opinion on them is they are a short-term solution for a long-term problem, my opinion. I think that if you're really, really, really overweight, they are a good vehicle to use. But I've never tried it, so I don't know. But then at the same time, I also think, like, you hear all these side effect stories and stuff, and I just think, like, is it going to be that in 10 years' time? Like, because obviously you look around now and it's like, there's all new stuff coming out, and they're like, I don't know, like, people are dying of cancer because of sugar. They said because of sugar, and I think in 10 years' time, is there going to be like another breed that's ADHD? And
That's what worries me.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's
because it's like, has it been, people are using something that's not for that use.
It's weird because I've got kind of double-edged kind of thought about it. Like, I do agree with it. I think, look, at the end of the day,
I think
who am I to say, like, even if someone's not that overweight, right, and they want to take Mounjaro or whatever jab it is,
yeah,
like, if that's going to make them feel confident, then fucking do your thing. Like, if you want to take steroids, whatever you want, it's your body, do what you want. So there's that side. But then on the flip side, I also think, what about the people who, like, every meal's a battle? You're trying your hardest. You're doing it the normal way. Like, what you're especially in fitness, in the industry, because I work with a lot of coaches and fitness people in general. A lot of them people I know, he's worked tirelessly on his body to look like that for 15 years. Yeah. And someone's done a few jabs, they've lost 10 stone, and now they're shredded. It's almost like, fucking hell, like... Yeah. And then they can go on to sell things because of how they look, but they never actually did the things that they're preaching. Well, so it's...
Yeah, but then if I were a betting man, if someone said to me, like, you're a betting man, I'd probably say that the person who's had the Mounjaro to get down to that, I'd probably say a good possibility they'll come back to where they were and add more. Whereas I think the guy who's been disciplined to stay through it appreciates it. I think you appreciate it more when you've fucking grafted
I
through
get that. It's like working, it's like business, like anything. Someone gives you 5 clients.
100%, yeah.
It's different to work.
Yeah, like I've got mates that's had it good to them on a plate, and they don't appreciate it now. Everything I've grafted for, and I appreciate everything I've got.
Would you have took one of those jobs if you go back and it was offered to you at the time?
I don't think I would have done, no, because I think obviously I got offered to have somewhere, and I turned it down. I think that's probably me being stubborn. I think, like, I don't know. I think I've always been quite, like, headstrong. I mean, like, geez, like, when I think, like, look back and think, like, how many people could do it? Like, probably, I remember going to see one of the surgeons before I had my skin off. I saw 2 surgeons, and it gives me goosebumps thinking about it now. And he were writing notes. They were, like, saying, like, what can I do for you for? And now he were writing notes in this pad, and he got his head down. I'd never met him before. And he was just like, and I said, I've, like, over 40 stone. I think at the time, because I was just getting a feel for him. I think I was about 23 stone, so I knew it was going to happen. I remember him, like, not straight away, we're like, what have you had? What procedure have you had for that? And I went, what do you mean? He went, I think he said, like, a gastric band, something else with a cut, something, all terminology. And I went, I've not had out. And I remember looking at him, and he stopped writing. He stopped writing and, like, looked at me in the face, and he went, you're like a 1%er. And I was just like, but to me, it wasn't a big, it was just a job I've had to do. Do you know what I mean? And even, like, people now, like, I know, like, I inspire people, but for me, it's just been a mission. I've had to do it.
Have you thought about going into the coaching world?
I have thought about it, but it frustrates me.
I know, mate, but you've got more value than most coaches out there.
Yeah, potentially. I think...
but you have. No, you have. You definitely have. If someone wants to lose weight, they're far better off with you.
But I'd rather... see, I've had people messaging me before about it, and I have helped a few people. But I think for me, like... I would. Do you know, like someone who's got a couple of stones to lose don't really do not for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Like the
Being
ones,
drastic
the
changes.
ones I've had are like 30, I've had a couple of like 30 stone plus guys.
But that's a niche, isn't it? Could you not go?
Well, I think it is a niche, to be fair, because the thing is it sounds daft, but everything they sell you, I relate to it.
But what I mean is, even the NHS could use someone like yourself. Because imagine what you're saving on surgery and gastric bands and the geriatric stuff, like all the for bigger patients and all that type of stuff. Like, you'll be taking a lot.
What's funny though is with NHS as well is like they'll give gastric bands out left, right, and centre, but then when you actually go and you've done the graft, and they'll turn around and say, "Oh, you're not eligible for any skin off and stuff." Or you could be, but it could be like a 5-year wait.
I just want to give the viewers an understanding, or the listeners. Certainly for the viewers, we'll put a picture on the screen of the fat. You showed me the fat that they actually chopped off. That the skin.
I think it was about £6. That.
What's that?
£6, I think it was that.
Was that all it was?
I think so.
Okay. What was the reason that you got that off? Was it literally like you just had that much excess skin?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, like some people you see them when they have had like gastric bands, they've lost it in 12 months. I've seen people like pull the skin literally to the ear. Whereas mine, you couldn't do that, but it was like, like say like running or doing exercise, you could hear it like a horrible noise, like a flop, like weird noise.
What's your plans for the future, Jonathan?
Plans for future, I think, would be, I'm not saying coaching, but I like to help people. Like, if I get a DM or someone might stop me in the street, I'll always speak to people. I'll always try and help them where I can. I'll try and give them a bit of encouragement, or just try and navigate them around something they're struggling with. I like to give value to people. You know, I think I'm a big believer in giving back.
So, being a guy who was once 40 stone, says that he hasn't been through any trauma, probably just comfort eating as a kid. What do you think most people who are obese or at that stage of weight, where does that come from?
In today's society, I think it's just the convenience of everything. You go on a street corner, like when I walked here today, like there's just restaurants all over here. And what blew my mind, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And what blew my mind is that I were in Starbucks, waiting for a coffee. And next thing, like this fucking box got put on counter. And I turned around and some guy on a motorbike had come in from like Just Eat. And I'm thinking, so he's obviously taking a coffee to someone's house who's probably got a kettle at home.
Yeah.
It's just, I think half it's like laziness.
And it blows me, because that's something that pisses me off. When I'm waiting in somewhere to be served, the priority is on the person sitting on the couch.
It's nuts.
Blows me mind, but again, it just shows me.
And I was just like thinking, so someone's ordered a coffee to come to their house, and they've probably got, and that's just how convenient everything is now, though. You can just click with a button, get something like to your doorstep. And I think it's more like, I think people will turn around and say, and I've been saying, like I got in that trap, and I think from me saying it, I think I can justify saying it. So like I'd say like, oh, I ain't got time to do this, or I ain't got time to do that. But the problem is you're not prioritising time. If you prioritise your health, and I think like obviously like this year, like I've seen it with my own eyes, like my missus is 40 this year, and she said we booked Miami to go in September, and she was like, this year I'm focusing on my health, because I think it sounds bad, but once you get to that 40 stage, like I feel like you're more near end than what you are start. And even though I don't feel old, so she said this year I'm going to focus on and I've seen her lose, I think she's lost like 2 stone this year. Absolutely smashed it. She's a totally different person. And like she's done the same. So I know like even for her to do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's just you do make excuses a long way, because I've done it.
I think it makes us chuckle to think there was once a time when we were in the wild hunting food, and now you can not leave your couch and eat 10,000 calories off your phone.
Look at caveman.
Yeah.
Look at cavemen. They had to go out, hunt, come back, cook. You never saw a fat caveman.
I was going to say, but isn't he fat caveman?
That's what I mean. And I also think a lot of these countries, don't get me wrong, like there obviously is, but if you look at the population of companies what's obese, if you look at a lot of them, the ones what generally cook from scratch are the ones that haven't got it as much as well.
Well, you know what's mad, mate? I know that you mentioned I was actually working in Miami not long ago, and there's the amount of choice for healthy food places, and that's unbelievable. I mean, there's loads of shit as well, of course there is, because big nation, the Americans, aren't they? But at the same time, mate, the amount, like, you can't not eat well if you want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, where I'm from, mate, in Sunderland, there's the close you can get to clean is Nando's.
Yeah.
And that's spending 20 quid for some chicken. And
I think
it's horrendous when but when you think about it, it's like, it's hard to get some decent bit. Even coming in here, mate, I smashed a Popeyes in before this. And I was like, I need some chicken. I was like, where am I going to get the protein? I was going to have some fried chicken. There's banging. Get yourself there after this.
I can't. I'm going out. To be fair, I'm actually going out to eat with.
You're not tell you last. Just have a quick Popeyes on the way.
Yeah, find it in Garden way. Right. But yeah, it's like, it is nuts. Like, I think it's just today's society, like, how everything's fast, convenient, and I get it. But then you need to prioritize stuff as well. I think if you, it's like what you focus on grows, and that's where your energy goes to.
Jonathan, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. You are definitely an inspiration for anybody who wants to lose weight, whether it's a pound or fucking 26 stone.
Yeah,
and I think anybody can take some value from it.
One of the things I always say as well is, like, genuinely, like, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
100%.
And I also remember seeing a podcast about 6 months before I started, and Tyson Fury said the same thing. He said, if I can do it, anybody can do it, from where you are. And I always resonate back to that.
And the beauty is with weight loss, mate, you don't need money. There's nothing you need to lose the weight.
No. I've saved money.
Move more, eat less.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
I've saved money.
Exactly.
Like, from not eating shit all the time.
Jonathan, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you for having me.
So if you've enjoyed this conversation and you like things like this, make sure you click up there and watch this episode.